We moved in here in 2009, December of 2009. The project started, it commenced in 2009. The first batch of 80 families moved into this project, the Steenberg project, in 2009. So the criteria that we had to meet was we had to be on the housing's waiting list, never owned a home before, credit record. We had to earn between the brackets of 3,500 to 7,500. Pensioners, single moms with kids, and combined family. So basically, if you had a household with someone earning a certain amount, maybe take for example 1,500, and you had maintenance coming in, also you were collecting social grants for the children, that became a combined household income, which you would then fill into your application, and that is how you would pass the criteria check. So if you met all those requirements, and then you would actually get a place here. Depending on your income, you would either qualify for a studio, a one-bedroom, or a two-bedroom unit in here. When we first moved in here, this social housing project, SOCO, it was nice to live in here because it was project for low-income earners, because it was low-cost housing. This is basically a social housing development that you see. The social housing development consists of 700 units in total, which actually caters for 700 families combined in total. So we came in here thinking that 5 years down the line, this would actually be rent to own. That is what was explained to us verbally by the social housing company, including the provincial government. We came in here with our families, happy that at some point in time this was going to be a permanent home. Yes, we did sign lease agreements with the managing company, SOCO. On our lease agreement, it does state that there will be an annual increase, a certain percentage every year. The increases vary from anything from 5% upwards. So depending on your household income, it will now depend on what type of an increase you'd get. Not everyone's rentals are the same. It's all different. It varies depending on your own household income. Our rentals, I will give you an example. When we first moved in here, it actually started from 500 rands. Anything from 500 rands for the studios. And the one bedrooms paid 800 rands. The two-bedroom units would then go about paying 1,518. As the years went by, the increases on the rental began, and it started becoming unaffordable. We used to pay for water, and we would pay for water per person when we first moved in here. So if you would actually give birth to a baby, then you had to report to the office, and you would pay water for that baby. So it was per person, and we started off paying 20 rand per person per household. As the years went by, we started seeing that people's circumstances started changing over the years. People started passing away. Breadwinners whose names was on the leases started passing away. Jobs were lost. Other people that came into the project then became pensioners, making it impossible for them to work, so they were only depending on the government grant that they were getting in. Based on those reasons, people could no longer afford the high rentals inside here. So the company started evicting. SOCO started evicting people. From 2011, people started getting evicted. The water became a problem because people couldn't understand why they were paying water per household. The legal processes to evict a person wasn't actually followed by the social housing company. And it started becoming a problem, and people were too afraid to stand up and to fight for their rights. Because if you did, then definitely the social housing company would come up against you. They would fight against you, and then you're going to get an eviction notices. You would get evicted for as little as 63 rands. There was one tenant, Grace, that also got evicted for 63 rands of of arrears. She was thrown out onto the streets. Legal process wasn't followed. That is what formed a rise when the tenants came together and we said enough is enough, because no one wanted to hear our story. No one wanted to actually understand what was going on in here. We were afraid, but we decided to take a stand. We formed a tenant committee where the tenants elected a committee to stand on board and then to start fighting for them. In 2015, we then realized that we had enough, more than enough. The tenant committee then started to question the provincial legislator's ruling where this project was concerned. That was Bongi Kosi Matikizela. We fought to have meetings with him, and successfully we did. We sat down with him in his offices at the provincial legislature. I personally, Tina Square, took a whole stack of papers in. I asked him to stop all evictions with immediate effect and to have the social housing company, SOCO, investigated. Reason being is that the reason why I've asked Bongi Kosi Madikizela to have the social housing project investigated, because SOCO evicted about 275 families from Durban, KwaZulu-Natal, and put them on the streets. Based on what happened there, I said to Bongi Kosi Madikizela, we found irregularities with our rental papers. The amounts that they were charging us on our rental statements didn't add up. The way the evictions were being conducted, we could not understand it. So we entrusted him to actually investigate the social housing company. And we said, until the investigations is not concluded, no eviction should take place. And then a proper audit should be conducted where all 700 units will be checked, they will be investigated properly, and an understanding will come about on whether their circumstances changed and whether an increase on their rentals was viable. Was it valid or not? Bongi Kosi Madikizela then said to us that he would investigate the social housing company, and we've clearly requested. We said we understand we need to pay rentals. We know we have to pay. We didn't say we didn't want to pay. We said him, though, because it's low-cost housing for low-income earners, the rental should be affordable for the people. It shouldn't be exceeding their earning within their home. I even said to him that this place here was funded with provincial subsidies, national subsidies, grant funding. So you've taken government subsidies and you've developed this place. I've even stated to him that I could not understand the land that the structure is actually built on was obtained from the city of Cape Town for 150 Rand per year. So this social housing company, SOCO, pays to the city of Cape Town 150 Rands per year. And that's on documentation. I said to him, I can't understand it. It's either I'm studying the documents wrong or the documents that we've obtained is false. He did say he will look into everything and he will come back to us. He did come back to us, and when we asked him, was the investigation concluded, he said us yes. We asked him who conducted the investigation. He said he's got SOCO to investigate themselves. And this is the sole truth. This is on video recording, because the MEC came out to address all the tenants, all 700 units. He addressed them at Coniston Park Hall. My question to him was that how could you, being the MEC of the provincial legislator, then go ahead and ask the same company to investigate themselves? It doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? He said he found no problems with the social housing company. They were actually doing everything right. They were actually on par with the regulations where this housing company was concerned. He said they met all the criteria, the regulations were passed, everything was done according to the book. And I was like, really? Really? Because if you look at our lease agreement, it states over there our deposits that we actually put in to secure our places gets invested with First National Bank. And based on that, if we decide we want to see proof of our investment, our deposits being invested, then they will show us proof. Right till this day here, they haven't showed us any proof. I've even questioned him about that. He came back with no answer. This is now the MEC. He said, unfortunately, the criteria that stated 3.5 to 7.5 at that time when we first moved in here changed in 2015. It's now from 11,500 up to 15,000 rands. So my question to him was that, so where does it leave us? Because we didn't fit that criteria when we moved in here. We fitted the old criteria. And why wasn't this brought to our understanding? Because we don't understand. How can you expect now, with the rentals being so high, expect a pensioner that's earning 1,500 at that time to pay a 3,500 rental? So what is the person eating in their home? He had no words. All he said was that if you could not qualify the new criteria on board or could not afford the rent, then you needed to be right-sized. Right-sized meaning you needed to go under a criteria check all over again. And if you did not qualify to live in here, that means you qualified to live in B&G homes, breaking new ground homes. So we said to him, okay, fine, then why don't you do that? He says, well, a proper audit needed to be conducted. We said, okay, go ahead and do it. Do it. Because our people are suffering in here. Till this day, we've got text messages, recordings, video recordings, where Bongi Kosi Madikizela is concerned, and he never got back to our people. He has lied over and over and over again. Even where social media is concerned, he has lied. Even to the media itself, the news media, the man has lied. He says that we can afford the rentals, and it's not due to the arrears that we're in that we lost this place. And we're asking, to what? You expect us to starve our children and starve ourselves and pay high rentals when we told you we know we have to pay. All we wanted was for the rentals to drop. We wanted relief where the rentals were concerned. No one can live for nothing, and that we understand. We're not illiterate to the fact that we need to pay. We are very literate and we understand that's the right thing to do. The thing is this here is that the tenants inside here has come under a lot of scrutiny. The people inside here are suffering. They are poor, extremely poor. No one has come out, not even SHRA, the Social Housing Regularity Authority, hasn't come out here to do proper audits for the tenants to find out whether they meet the new criteria of the rental. No. Rather, they've taken us into court when we started this fight to evict our people. We brought lawyers on board and we tried to fight them, but we went into court and we failed in court. The courts granted the eviction. Now that shouldn't actually be a shocker to anyone. Then people will actually say, yeah, you know why you lost your case in court, because you didn't pay for your rentals. And we are saying that you are wrong. There is evictions taking place throughout the Western Cape. Throughout the Western Cape, council homes are being taken away. People are being put on the streets. The courts are not looking at that. Where else there is a constitution put into place in this country to help save people's homes and for people not to wind up on the streets like this here, our laws are not doing that. So basically, the poor people, the way we look at it, have no laws protecting them in this country. The government is lying to save themselves, and they would rather choose to have the people out on the streets and walk past them than to rather help them. We want to know the taxman pays money. He pays taxes. That's all of us. All of us. Tax, VAT is almost the same damn thing. You go to a shop to buy a liter of milk. What are you paying on it? VAT. The VAT goes to who? To the government. Where is all those monies going to? If government can give SOCO, national and provincial subsidy, we're talking about not millions, billions of rands. This is based on the documentation that we've got. So where is that money going to? Firstly, why can't that money be allocated to us? Why can't land like this be allocated to us? Why can't we build our own homes? Why must our people be put out on the streets? Why would no one want to listen to our people? For what reason? Because we're poor. So if we're poor, that means we're illiterate. We never ended up finishing school. We don't have tertiary educations to get good jobs, sitting in offices, in government offices, working for high-class businesses. So that literally makes us illiterate. So that is why we are not taken seriously. Because now a poor person that cannot afford their rental don't know what they're talking about, right? That's how government treat our people, like we are nothing. We mean nothing. So who are we at the end of the day? What are we teaching our children? We want our rights to be executed. We want to execute our rights. Our rights has been violated. Why? For what reason? Why doesn't the Constitution work for the poor people of the streets? Why? Then what did Nelson Mandela fought for? What was the struggle for all about? To be sitting here like this, in camps with our children outside, no homes to go to. When is government going to stop and listen to the poor people? When? When they have caused nothing but division between us, between the people. Do you know Soko uses apartheid tactics, divide, conquer and rule. There is old apartheid tactics to get people here on the streets. Hey? When is it going to stop? When will the DA government go? When will they go? Who rules this province, the Western Cape province? The DA. Who is conducting all the evictions throughout the Western Cape province? The Democratic Alliance. Who is Bongi Kosi Madikizela? He is a member of the DA. Who is Brett Heron? Hey? Where else there are city homes available? It's standing empty with security in right through Reiterwag, Plumstead, Wynberg. All of these places are standing empty and they got security. Yet our people must be subjected to the streets right through here. There they have children, we've got kids there. Hey? We must sit outside in the cold, burn fires there. Burn fires here. Hey? When is it going to stop? When is people that got proper shelters over there going to realize that yes, we do want to work. We want to pay our rent. We want a decent shelter over our children's heads, man. We are not asking for anything more. Is it so hard for the government here to stop and think that today you are taking these children and you are subjecting them to the streets? What is going to happen to their futures? I will tell you what's going to happen. They're going to say the government failed them, the law failed them. So what they're going to result into? Gangsterism, killing, murders, raping, stealing, all of that. That is how we get all the gangs running around. Because the systems failed them, not their families, not their children, not the mothers, not the fathers, not the granny. It's the systems that's put into place fails our children. So we are asking, where is our justice? Where is poor people's justice? Why must we stay in shacks like in Capricorn, Kailicha, Guguletu, Overcome Heights? Why must our people be put in shacks, man? There is enough land. Government has got more than enough money. Even though they say they don't, they do. They do. Instead of using the money to build my city bus routes and to make bridges everywhere, to construction on roads and stuff like that, why not use that money to house our people? I'm not only speaking for the people that's out here. Yes, Soko came here and brutally put our people out. They put us on the streets. No one is coming forward to claim ownership of this here, of what's happening here. No one is coming and asking us, it's winter, are you safe? Are you warm? Hey? We can get raped, we can get killed, our children can get caught in the crossfire. Is anyone coming and asking us, you've got children right along this way here, are they safe? This woman's hands here, from the time she's outside, have a look at her hands. This is what happened to her hands from the time she's sitting here. I've got a mother that's sitting here whose breast milk is busy being dried up because of the conditions that she's living in. Hey? I've got people that are getting sick inside here. Our people right through, our children all along are getting sick. We are getting sick living out here because We were living in a structured building and we were thrown out on the streets during winter time. So who is having a look at all of this here? Hey? Who? So that means we've got no rights in this country. So what is the constitution there for? When you evict, you must provide alternative accommodation. Then the accommodation that they want to give all our people wherever they're evicting is Blikkiesdorp and Wolverrivier. There is concentration camps. Once you get thrown in there, then everybody forgets about you. So that means we are nothing. We don't drive nice cars. We don't have nice posh plus houses. Right? So we're not dignified people. We ain't dignified people. But companies like Soko will obtain land for 150 rand per year from city. And then they will charge our people exorbitant amounts of rentals. And when we can't afford it, then we must come here to the streets. What are we going to do, man? Our pensioners, how are they going to feed themselves? Hey? How is our children, how are we going to feed our children, man? Hey? When is the nonsense in the Western Cape going to stop? When will this stop? We are asking, when will it stop? When will Brett Heron and Bongi Kosi Madikizela, together with Helen Zilla, start speaking the truth that they have screwed up the Western Cape? They are evicting left, right, and center. For what? For money. For money, they are busy making money. They sleep on their warm beds. They've got nice big houses. And they forget us. Whose money do they get paid with? The tax money of this country. It's the people that pays for their wages. You've got people in government that's earning over 2-3 million rands a year. Break it down and then you find out how much they're earning for a month. They can take their families to Canada, to Switzerland and all those places. Where must we go? Hey? We must go to the swamp or the bloody lake. We must now run from here to go and catch a train down there, all squashed like sardines, going to the damn beach. Hey? No one cares, man. No one cares. No one here cares nothing about our people. Our people are long gotten. They are forgotten. Government don't give a damn what happens to us. We are asking, when will justice prevail? When will our people get justice? When will our children get justice? When? When? What does government want to do? Hey? Make this a high-class area all right through Western Cape? Where must we go to? Where to from here? That's a question. I'm going to say this now. Mr. Madikizela has lied not once, not twice, not thrice. He has been lying right through and everyone is talking about it. He makes promises and then he goes back, and then to cover up his tracks, he will come with a whole bunch of lies. His days are coming to an end, and you know what? Sooner or later, people are going to start looking at that man. You know, God don't sleep, man. God don't sleep. We won't, we bless that man. We send him off. We, the poor people, we bless him, and we send him off with all our blessings. But that man, they won't sleep. Today, what you do unto us will also come back to you threefolds, maybe fourfolds. Today we are sleeping on the streets. Tomorrow he could be on the streets. You know what? For violating children's rights. For subjecting our poor people to the streets. That's what I want to say. I want to say, I am now tired. Government lies too much. The law lies too much. No one is on our side. No one takes pity and mercy on our people. And I want to say it's very sad. If anybody has anything else to say, that's their own thing. But you know what? For me, I'm done.